Good evening. My name is Annette. I am your host here at Coaching You For You. Thanks for joining us tonight. Our topic tonight, and just lean in for a moment here, lean in and listen up. Again, I am Coach Annette. I am your host here at Coaching You For You. And I want to talk to you just a little bit about turning your pain into power, and some of the simple steps that can help you do that. Now, let's face it, we all suffer some pain sometime. What it might be about, who it might be about, and why it exists is something only you can explore. I want to remind you again that here at Coaching You For You, I don't know everything. I am simply sharing my experience, strength, and hope. And today, just for today, all day, I have a lot of hope. The first thing I want to tell you is that, first of all, please hydrate. It makes the difference. And as someone who suffers from allergies, I have to remind myself often to do that. But one of the things I want to tell you, first of all, is that freedom, when you're in pain, is a state of mind. When we are suffering, we often get the impression or believe that we are in it alone. And that feeling is actually our reality. It's our reality because whatever it feels to us is what it is. Nobody can tell you how to feel, what to think, what to do, how to get there. But what we can share is experience, strength, and hope and how that works. And so, freedom is a state of mind. And when we're in pain, we want to be free from it. At least I did. I wanted to be free from it. And I've often found that when I allow myself to feel is when I start to heal. It's typically when we deny what we're feeling. Oh, my feelings aren't hurt. Oh, that didn't matter. Oh, I don't lack self confidence. Oh, I'm fine. It doesn't matter what he or she did. I'm cool with it. And most often, that's not true. And then what happens is we carry that pain uh, like packages into whatever we're going to do next. And it creates anger and hostility. And so, one of the things we want to get away from is anger and hostility. This is the Sister to Sister podcast tonight. But this podcast, Coaching You For You, is open to anyone who wants to hear it. Pain is inevitable. How we deal with it is what actually makes the difference. And so I just want to remind you, keep this in mind because this is going to be our landing statement, or at least one of them. Freedom is a state of mind. And when we're in pain, what we want more than anything else is freedom from that pain. So let's go. Number one, allow yourself to feel. Be real about who you are, what you're going through, and how it has impacted you. That's one thing that our reality will teach us, even when we're not ready to learn. Allow yourself to feel. It's okay to feel. You will not avoid pain in this lifetime unless you're numb. And if you're numb, that's a whole different topic. But allow yourself to feel. Freedom is a state of mind. So let's get the head in order. You know, it's the spirit that you feed yourself. That's the spirit that grows. If you feed yourself freedom, you're going to have it. If you feed yourself reality, you're going to have a healthy dose of it. If you feed yourself peace, you will inevitably come to appreciate respect and understand what it looks like. You know, the one thing I know for sure, my reality in wanting freedom from pain is I don't want anybody disrupting my peace who is at battle with their own. And I posted that. Somebody posted that meme and I reposted it. I don't want anybody disrupting my peace who is in a battle with their own. And that's real. In other words, I don't want drama around me. And that too is inevitable. And how you deal with it makes a difference. But dealing with your feelings is the first part of healing. And what we want to do more than anything else is heal. So be good to yourself. You know, everybody gets dumped at some point in time. I remember the first time I got ghosted. Everybody gets ghosted. And initially, I didn't know what that meant because it's not something I was familiar with, but I found out. So, you know, we all go through these changes. We all get in relationships at work, in business. Get my allergies again today. In business and with family, you know, our family, you know, love them, don't leave them. Not completely. Sometimes emotionally, we have to step away for one reason or another. Protect your peace at any and all costs. And in personal relationships, you know, we have difficulties. We suffer pain. I think that one of the things that one of my greatest lessons, and this is another thing I want you to take away. I want you to take away that freedom is a state of mind. I want you to take away that feeling. Going through to get through is what promotes your healing. I want you to take away that looking for the lesson in your pain is going to be your greatest blessing. And the reason it's going to be your greatest blessing is because I already said pain for everybody sooner or later is inevitable. We won't escape it. And so finding the lesson in it is the greatest part of your blessing. Because when you know, when you see, when you search, and when you accept, that's where the healing begins. Denial will get you nowhere. And if you are good at pushing to the back of your brain, as I am, to eliminate things that create stress for you, eventually, as I have, you will suffer dearly for it. And it'll come out of nowhere. You'll think that you're having a great time and you're doing just great. And then all of a sudden, the storm breaks. Your rainbow in that storm is going to be your lesson and going through what you have to go through. There are no shortcuts to dealing with pain, absolutely none. People, places, and things hurt us from time to time in our life. And accepting that and dealing with that is the key to our recovery. Most people think that recovery is about drugs, and it's not. Recovery is about healing and dealing with the child within and the people, places, and things that have hurt you. If you have suffered rape or attempted rape, don't try to forget it. Try to deal with it and get to the other side. If you have suffered an abusive relationship, number one, get out of it as soon as you can. And for all my sister friends out there, do not leave your sisters alone. You don't want to interfere in relationships under any circumstances, but you do want to keep a positive note in her ear and an opportunity for her to escape those abusive relationships and heal and get the support services that she might need. And the same would go for men. You know, a lot of men get abused. Go to ShopRite, you'll figure it out. You'll hear them folks up there cussing them out and talking to them like animals. It happens, and not just at ShopRite. It happens at Giant. It happens at Walmart. It happens everywhere. So men and women both suffer abuse. But this is about the sisters tonight. Keep your ear open for your sister and be willing to extend a hand of support and love. And sometimes that support and love is simply about you listening. Most people in verbally abusive relationships don't know they're there. Most people in emotionally abusive relationships don't know they're there. It is when they venture out and they're amongst others and things that we've gotten used to hearing, people look at us and go, hey, like that's not normal, that's not cool, that's not healthy, and then we take a second look. Nobody enters into or willingly just accepts abuse. It happens. And most times, from every woman I've ever mentored who has been in an abusive relationship, the abuse happens before you even realize it's happening. Abuse is not always physical, it can be emotional, it can be mental, it can be verbal, it can be those types of abuse. So stop taking everybody else's inventory and take your own. I found that when I look inside, I can usually fix the things that are going on with me. I found that when I pray for others, because I breathe and I believe in a power greater than me, and the greater than me power I choose is God. And I find that when I pray, and I ask for uh, folks to be okay in my prayers, God usually takes care of it. But faith without works is dead. So remember that. You can pray until you're blue in the face, but without some action, nothing's going to happen. Be good to yourself and be good to sisters out there everywhere. And I don't care what color they are, and I don't care what they look like. If they are a sister in need, they are a sister indeed. And we have to remember that. And some of us have a more difficult time than others in recognizing that women need each other. And the next part of that is when you look for the lesson. So we talked about freedom is a state of mind. We talked about feeling and healing. Take your time to heal. So often we jump out of one person, place, or thing and immediately into another, thinking that that's going to make us feel better. Nobody else can make us feel better but us. And anything we get from anybody else is just temporary because how we feel is an inside out job. It begins on the inside and works its way out. So that anything that adds to your life in a positive way is a plus. But the best feelings, the best healing, the best lessons all begin with us individually, us. The best feelings and lessons and healing begins with me as it does with you. And so, not only do you want to recognize the lesson, but you want to learn from that lesson and you want to change whatever behavior is required to be changed to ensure that that lesson goes on with you to the next person, place, or thing. You know, there are over 7 billion people in this world, and all of them are not bad. There are some incredibly good men and women out there and it takes some time to get to that. And so when we talk about turning our pain into power, here's the lesson part of it. When we get in relationships, business, employment, fun, friends or inner circles, or intimate relationships, one of the things we fail to do often, trust our guts. The gut inside of us, especially for women, That women's intuition is powerful. And one of the things we fail to do a lot of times is trust it. And in not trusting it, what happens is we make excuses and overlook things that we think we're going to be able to change once we make our business partner understand that balancing the books is important. When going into the business relationship and partnership, we already know that balancing the books is an issue for them. And so we think that once we get into that business partnership and we show them how great the business is going to be, it don't change. It don't change it. And we can't seem to figure that out. So when we get that lesson once, we shouldn't have to get it twice. Fool me once, fool me twice. You know the deal. It's on you. And so, and in our relationships, in our partnerships with our partners, the people that we fall in love with, the biggest mistake we made, and I'm going to give you my experience, strength, and hope here, is looking at, I tend to look at, what I see and feel and know of a person. Not what somebody's told me, but what I know. And I made the mistake of thinking that because I knew that underneath all of the madness, a person was a good person, had a good heart, and was genuinely okay. And I overlooked the bad behavior in the beginning and made excuses for it, and I suffered for that horribly, 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 because I saw the best in them. And sometimes you will see the best in them. But if they cannot see the best in themselves, you are going to suffer getting into it and moving on in it, thinking that that part of them that you see the best of them is going to suddenly pop out and they're going to be the best people that you actually know they're capable of being. But until people are ready to change, and change and apologies is change behavior. There is no other change. Change behavior is the real apology. It's the real maturity. It's the real people. Because so often you see people and you're looking at their representatives. And so when you're looking at their representatives who show up on the first date or, at the first dinner or at the first cabaret or and they're looking good and they're smelling good and they're acting good. That's the representative. You get to know who people are not based on what they say, but simply based on what they do. And if what they say and what they do don't match up, trust your gut, pay attention. And that's for all relationships. At work, we want to be cool with people because we think that's the thing to do. And often those very people that we're cool with will disrupt our peace because, as I said in the beginning, they're at war with their own. And so tonight, I'm going to wrap up here. I just wanted to come on and tell you and share with you my experience, strength, and hope. Turn your pain into power. Remember that freedom is a state of mind. It's all up here. And when you're up here and you got stinking thinking, you're behind enemy lines. And you need to understand that. I'm going to repeat that. When you're up here in your mind and you've got stinking thinking, you are behind enemy lines and you will not survive. Because whatever you feed this, it's the spirit that you feed that grows. Remember that. Remember that feeling and being realistic about your feelings, what you're going through, how you got there, and what it means to you. The healing can't begin until you do that. And finally, remember the lesson and resolve to learn from that lesson and change the behavior that you need to change so that moving forward, you are better at the next people, place, or thing, whatever it's going to be. And so I want to remind you again that you are phenomenal. And I want to tell you, post this on your bedroom wall, in the bathroom, in the kitchen. You don't have to be perfect to be amazing. Turn your power into your pain into power and don't carry that excess baggage unnecessarily into the next people, place, or thing. Be good to yourself. Self care matters. And remember, when you're in the thick of things, breathe and believe. And always believe in a power higher than yourself. For me, I choose God. I want to thank you for coming in tonight. I want to ask you to put our business here at Coaching You For You in the streets. Tell people about us. Hit the notification bar so that you know when we're on. Send us an email at coachingyouforyou@gmail.com if you'd like to join the podcast, and share some of your experience, strength, and hope. One of the things that I'm looking to do very soon on a Sister to Sister, from the Sister to Sister podcast, is to host a women's conference, Turning Our Power into Pain. It's going to be virtual. It's going to be phenomenal. We're going to have some phenomenal speakers, and it's going to be free. Free your mind, and everything else is going to follow. Have a great evening. Thank you for joining us this evening. I am Coach Annette here at Coaching You For You. Put our business in the streets and join us every Wednesday at 8:05 p.m. I'd like to give a shout out to my mentor, Nabila Ishmael, up there in North Jersey, making it do what it do. I love you, Nabila. You guys have a great evening.